talk a little bit about the brain trust? Because I know you and I know what the brain trust is, but a lot of people don't understand that that's how stuff gets done over at Pixar.
Oh yeah, of course. So what they really have is all the pillars. It used to be John Lasseter. Now he's not there, but all the top Pixar filmmakers, Pete Docter and Brad Bird. Even though I don't know who's still there and who's not, but it's basically all those directors and Andrew Stanton for sure. Um, they meet every couple of months with every project, and the people working on this project will present a reel or a couple of scenes or a storyboarded, sequence or act, and they will just all go into it and talk about it. And in Ed Catmull's book, where he talks sort of about their company culture that really embraces failure, it embraces criticism, and it's people go into those meetings ready to discuss anything. Anything is up for grabs. And it's kind of like in TV shows where you have a writer's room and you have a lot more ideas to draw from and a lot more input. And I think it definitely makes their films richer. And I also was in a panel and I heard their head of development talk about the research that goes into, like, in the very beginning when they just have a concept, they will often give the director, often their ideas start with the directors, even if they later hire a different writer, who will have an area where they want to do. Like I remember they talked about Coco, how he set up 3 different rooms, each one with a different idea. I don't remember the other 2, but one of them was Coco, and that room was filled with sort of Day of the Dead foods and those, I don't remember the word, those presentations they have, the dead people with the food and the picture.
Mm-hmm.
And sort of all of that vibe and the way he talked about that and his ideas about that were so passionate and rich that the brain trust went, you should go for that. So there's a lot of work in the very, seed of the idea, the very seed of the concept before you even move ahead. It's the 2 maybe hardest things as a writer. On one hand, to really work very hard on the concept before you go to an outline or a treatment or a script. And on the flip side, to have the flexibility and honesty and values and ambition to, even when you have everything said beautifully, to be able to go like, no, you know what, this can be better, or this is how it should be, even if it means re-breaking a lot of the story in you.
Yeah, I have a friend of mine who's an animator over at Disney, and at Disney Studios, and he's been there since, good Lord, like Princess and the Frog he worked on years ago, and he's also worked on Frozen and Zootopia and some other big ones as well. And it never ceases to amaze me that they will completely scrap an entire story and go back.
Yeah.
And he's shown me and told me the influence that Pixar's culture has had on Disney Studios. And as you noticed, like, Disney movies have gotten much better over the year, much better over the years. And if it can see, like, Zootopia is, I think, is a masterpiece. I mean, what they did, and he told me what the original ideas were. And he's in the design, and they were just completely different. Like, the animals were much more vicious. They all had collars on that would deter, that they would, like, if you go into the wrong area, it would sting. Like, they had a bunch of stuff, and they would, like, fully design. Like, there's an entire. I saw the artwork for Tangled when it was like, Tangled's entire world was based on Da Vinci's designs. It was stunning to see, and they had been working on Tangled for a decade. I forgot, he was a great artist there. I forgot what the artist who was the director, but for whatever reason, it changed, and all of a sudden, boop, it turned. But a lot of that has to do with Pixar's influence on them and in the story structure, because they will make a complete 180, whereas a studio, you really can't if you're doing a live action. It's very too many gears are moving. Where it's an animation, especially with all that pre-pro that they do, you can shift if you want to.
Yeah, and even if you can, sometimes other studios have a lot more value on, this is when we want to release it. This is
Right.
the date we want it out. And if you see, they push their movies very often.